Okay, 7th graders, the last lesson is on model drawing and problem solving, solving questions that cause you to have to think about how do we solve this? How do we come up with the right answer? Okay? And so we've talked about this procedure many times, how important it is to understand what the question is. So you should read and reread the problem. Okay? Don't just read it over once and then make a decision. When you're problem solving in the real world, there's consequences for getting it wrong. You have to make sure you get it right. You have to make sure you understand the question. So reread the problem, especially go back and reread the important information. Write an answer statement. Answer statement really makes you focus on the question. Okay? So an answer statement is a statement that includes the label of the answer. And then draw and label a diagram. Put the numbers from the problem on the diagram and use boxes to represent quantities that have the same size, shape, and value. So if you have two numbers and one of them is bigger than the other, you draw two boxes, make one smaller and label that number, and make a box that's bigger and label that another number, and then do the math and check your answer. So I wanted to go through a couple of questions for you that we would use on this. So for example, on page 168 in this lesson, a rancher wants to build a fence for a square lot with dimensions 50 by 50. He wants to install a fence post every 5 yards with a post at each corner. How many fence posts does he need? So you can draw this out easily. First of all, you want to write an answer statement. In the problem, we're going to reread it. The dimensions are 50 by 50 and a 5 yards between each post and one post at each corner. That's the important information. And then the question is, how many fence posts? How many fence posts around the perimeter? So the answer statement is, he needs blank number of fence posts. Okay. Now, a diagram. What is the problem about? It's 50 by 50 by 50 fence, a post at each corner, and a post every 5 yards. So the space between each one is 5, and the total space is 50. So does that mean we put 10 posts between? Because 10 times 5 is 50.
Yeah.
We can put 10 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Does that equal 50?
Yeah.
Well, let's count. Every space is worth 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. That doesn't work. It's not 10 posts. It's 10 what? Spaces. So that's why drawing this out is helpful. Okay? It's 10 spaces. So it's when we draw a post, we count the space as 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Okay? Now, how many are on the side then? And should we count the corners? If we count the corners, when we count this side, we'll be recounting this post. Right? We don't want to count this post twice, which is why I made them a different shape. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 posts. And how many corner posts? So there's 9 posts per side. And how many corner posts? 4. So 9 times 4 plus 4. Right? 40. 40 posts. Now, if you just read this, you're going to get the wrong answer because you're going to try to say, well, wait a second. There's 10 posts per side because each side is 50. 50 divided by 5 is 10. But then there's a corner post. So it's a lot more confusing. You might get 44 or 36 if you don't count the corner posts. So a quick diagram and make sure that you get it right. Make sure that you understand the question. Okay? Any questions on this process? Okay. You have your assignments then. You can get started on those.